Sometimes this question is just too painful to ask because we're afraid of what the answer is going to be. But today in this video, we're going to ask, and then I'm going to give you an assignment so you can go find out. So you can get control of your life, control of your emotions, and control over what's going to happen next for you in your world. So here's the question. What do they really think and feel about me? Like, who am I to them really? What value do I hold in their heart? How much do they love me? How much do they want me? Who am I to them? Here's how you're going to find out. And actually, it's a very simple exercise, but it's one you have to do kind of cautiously, because if they're aware of the fact that you're testing, it's probably going to backfire. So let me explain. When you're in a relationship with somebody that is, let's say, breadcrumbing you, meaning they're only going to give you just the bare bone minimums of what they need to hold on to you, that doesn't actually mean they want you. That just means they haven't found someone else they want more yet, or the person they want more doesn't want them. So they're just hanging on to you for now. What's going to happen is this person, if they are breadcrumbing you that way, if you're really not the one they want to spend the rest of their life with, that doesn't mean they're going to want to lose you right now. And they may not want you to know how little they actually are invested, because they're not dumb. They're going to know if you know that they're not really all in, that you may leave before they're ready to let you go, and they don't want to be alone. They're getting something from you, right? So if they catch on to the fact that you have caught on to them, they may up their game for a while. And then this test won't work. So here's the test, and here's how you do it, and here's why you do it. If you believe that you have been the glue in this relationship, whatever it may be, it might even just be a friendship, whatever. If you feel like you're always going past that like 50% line, like you're always investing a little more than they are, you're chasing, you're offering your whole heart, mind, body, and soul, your energy, you're prioritizing them, and they're just never, reciprocating that kind of energy or investment, and you have been the glue really holding this thing together. You've been the one doing the chasing. You've been the one, wanting to have the dates, solve the problems, everything, and they just kind of are going along. Here's what you can do to find out where you really stand with them. And it has to be done fairly gradually. Stop doing those things. Very gradually stop. And see what happens. So let's just say, for example, if you are going to go on a date, it's always you to say, hey, let's go here, let's go there. When it comes to buying gifts, it's always you buying them. When it comes to texting, calling, going and seeing each other, doing the commuting, slowly, don't do it too fast, slowly cut back in each of these areas, little by little, over a period of like a couple of months. And watch what happens to the relationship. And I want you to do one thing for me, so that way you have a reference point at the very beginning of this, before you started the exercise, to where you're at in 2 months from now. So based on how often you're interacting right now, you would say, okay, well, we're texting and calling 5, 6, 7 times a day, whatever, but I initiate pretty much all of those. Okay, we're seeing each other twice a week. I initiate that too. Whatever it might be, right? Have a little journal that you have documented roughly the way that the relationship works, that you have documented this. And as you slowly start pulling back, in about a month or 2 or 3 from now, as you're no longer doing those things, go back and redocument based on what's happening now. So now that you're not texting and calling 6-7 times a day, how many texts and calls are you having per day between the two of you? 1? None? Now that you're not initiating getting together, how often are you getting together? Once a month? Oh. You're going to be able to very quickly and very easily find out if you were holding that relationship together or not. And this is it's a sad thing if you're in a relationship with someone and you need to do this, because most of the time if you are having to do this, it's because they were breadcrumbing you for so long already that they could really take it or leave it at this point. I mean, once you're at the point where you're doing exercises like this to find out how they feel about you, you already know how they feel about you. You just kind of want to put the nail in the coffin at this point. You want to have some solid evidence so you can be like, yep, as soon as I stopped texting you, calling you, it was over, so off I go. Probably you don't even need to do this exercise because you probably already know that they're not as into you as you are to them. They're not as invested, or you wouldn't even be watching this video to 6 minutes and 22 seconds. So, I mean, it's an exercise you can do if you want, but my guess is if you made it this long in the video, you probably don't even need to bother. But sometimes it helps to have a journal, and it helps to have an exercise where we've actually decided that we want a concrete answer. We want to give them one last chance, and we don't want to face the fact that somebody meant so much to us that we meant so little to. It hurts. It really hurts. Breadcrumbing is actually a really devastating thing when the person being breadcrumbed, the person being strung along, would literally like lay their life down for that person. They're that in love, they're that invested, and that person just stringing them along is like, I don't need to talk to you today. It's fine. I got other things to do. I'll talk to you tomorrow, whatever. Like, that really, really, really hurts. No one wants to be that person that was loved like that, like such an option. It hurts. So this is how you can find out. You want to find out how they feel about you. You slowly start pulling back and you see what happens. Now, back to the caveat that I gave at the very beginning. Someone that's really smart and observant might notice that, whoa, the relationship is changing. Why have you changed? Are you cheating on me? Like, whatever. Yeah, they might notice that something's changed. And they might start wanting you more because they see that you kind of don't give a shit anymore. You're not calling, you're not texting, you're not making dates, you're not buying them gifts, you're not complimenting them, you're like not doing all the stuff you used to that held the relationship together. And now they notice the relationship is almost non-existent, and they might be looking at you fearing that you've lost interest in them. And what do guys usually want? They want what they can't have, so they might start chasing you again for a while. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. If they chase you again for a while, guaranteed, if you do this exercise again, the same thing's going to happen. You're going to start noticing that they're not investing as much anymore. They're breadcrumbing, and the whole thing will go all over again. And if you completely withdraw again, if they haven't found greener grass, they'll pursue you again. This is just what happens in these kind of relationships where one person actually is wholeheartedly invested and the other person is just seeing you as an option. It's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. So don't fall for that. But hopefully this exercise helps if you want to find out if you're the glue to the relationship. Stop being the glue, and you should be able to quickly find out where you actually stood with this person.